Good morning, Year 5, and welcome to a brand new week of reading lessons. Mr. Mills here this week with you to talk you through the 4 sessions. We are going to, as we always do, start with our book talk, and today we are going to have a look at another extract that links to our Everest-inspired narrative. When their oxygen quota ran out, they awoke feeling cold and wretched. With their supplies carefully calculated, they could not afford to waste any more time on such luxuries as sleep. At 4 a.m. on the 29th of May, Hilary and Tenzing began to prepare for their final departure. Hilary had removed his boots before going to sleep, and with the temperature at minus 27 degrees Celsius, they had frozen solid. He had to thaw them out over the primer stove before he could pull them on again. At 6:30, the pair set off towards the south summit. As the slope became steeper, the conditions grew worse. With the deep and unstable snow shifting under their feet, both Hilary and Tenzing knew there was a strong chance they would be swept off the mountain. Gripped by fear, they decided to keep moving forward to the south summit, where they were relieved to find conditions improved. From the south summit, they continued onto the summit ridge. Moving steadily but cautiously, they came to a vertical rock face that was 40 feet, or 12 meters, high. This was the final obstacle standing between them and the top. Wondering how on earth they could climb up it, Hilary noticed that a thick layer of ice clinging to the face of the rock had begun to break away. Taking a chance, he squeezed into the crack between the rock and the ice and, with every ounce of his strength, wriggled his way up to the top. Tenzing quickly followed on behind. Had the ice given way under their weight, they would have plunged down the mountain to certain death. Once at the top, the pair wasted no time in continuing their journey upwards. Moving slowly and sapped of energy, they began to wonder how much longer they could go on for. As we always do on our first reading session of the week, we are going to record our thoughts and maybe using our inference skills, pick out some of the clues behind the text that we have got today. What I'm going to do is I'll talk you through the first paragraph, or the first couple of paragraphs, because the first one's only short, and then I'm going to leave it to you to then continue with your book talk skills and annotate the rest of the text. Line number 1 then, let's have a look. What can I get from that text? When their oxygen quota ran out. Now, quota is quite an unusual word. It means limit. Okay, so when their oxygen limit or quota had run out. So this suggests to me that they have used more than their quota. So they have, let's move this up. They have used more than they had. So they have used more than they had, or they've used all that they had. So are in potential danger. Put myself a little line to that first bit there. There we are. What else can I pick out there? It says, with their supplies carefully calculated, they could not afford to waste any more time on such luxuries as sleep. What am I wondering now? I'm wondering if they're excited. I'm wondering how they're feeling at this point. So I might underline that bit. I might put a little line out to the side. So I wonder if they are still excited, or has exhaustion started to set in. Next paragraph then. It says, at 4 a.m. Hilary Tenzing began to prepare for their final departure. Hilary had removed his boots before going to sleep, and with the temperature at minus 27 degrees, they had frozen solid. So we know that the temperatures are still very harsh. We know that it's still particularly difficult to work in. So I've added there, the conditions are extremely harsh. They had to thaw them over a Primus stove. I wonder what that is, because that seems to suggest it might be different to a stove that we would be used to. So I might just question that there. Is this different to the stove we know? Is this different? Or is this a different type of stove? That could potentially be a question. At 6:30 a.m, the pair set off towards the south summit. So I picked out a couple of wonders. I've picked out a couple of observations, and I've even asked a question in there. I'm just going to change that slightly. So your job now for the rest of the lesson is to do the same with the next couple of paragraphs, picking out your thoughts and wonders, trying to infer bits from the text also. Emailing how you get on or tweet your work, and I will see you tomorrow for the vocabulary session.